What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's E-HeroesForged coming at y'all with another updated Heroes deck profile. This is post-ban list, obviously, and somewhat what I'm going to be going into the Alliance Insight set that's coming out very soon. I ordered a few cards that I'm going to need in the side deck, so I got a couple fillers in there, but other than that, it's pretty much set how I want to play it. I decided to take a different approach to the deck. So kind of what I've been seeing in like different discords and different people's profiles online, and even some local guys, like a lot of people are really just playing 60 cards, 50 cards, 55 cards, you know, like really high deck counts. And kind of what I've been seeing with the hero decks is we've just been cramming nothing but 3-ofs, you know, like 3 Stratos, 3 Malicious, 3 Ferris, 3 this, 3 that, and it's like, man, you know, like, I understand heroes can kind of go off of that, and it's okay to have those high deck counts because, you know, you got to have some non-engine in there too, because heroes is such a high deck count requirement, you know, with main engine, that you're forced to play these high number decks. Well, I've decided to take a different spin on that. So this is a really tight 41 card deck. I really wanted to get it to 40, but you know, I think 41's not bad compared to what else is out there. So basically the mindset behind this deck is, and really the mindset behind heroes, is that you search everything. Everything in the deck can be searched. So it doesn't matter what card it is, heroes can search it. So with that mindset, I decided to cut everything down. Everything's either at 1, maybe 2. The only cards that are at 3 are, which I'll get into that. You know, I almost spoiled it a little bit there. But I only have a couple things that are like at 3, and that's because they are pivotal to the deck. And so the only thing that hurts this deck, in my opinion, is Droll. Like, yeah, Nib is a thing. You know, I'll take that challenge all day long. I don't think Nib is a hardcore deck this format. I don't think it's going to be in a lot of people's main deck, and if it is, then it is what it is. You know, so I'll take on that challenge regardless, you know, and then the side deck is the side deck. And another thing I decided to go for is I did decide to bring Darklaw back. I have seen in other profiles that they were cutting Darklaw, and I don't agree with that, especially now with the ban list, you know, getting rid of Abyss Dweller and Shifter and things like that. So a lot of these graveyard decks are going to be thriving. So I think Darklaw is going to be very important. But enough of me rambling. Let's get into the deck profile. Hope you guys enjoy it, and let's start with the main deck. So starting off, we will be running 3 Stratos. He is your best normal summon in the deck. He searches everything you need. He gets you into your combo pieces. So I think maxing him out is the way to go, especially in a 41 card deck. You want to see him, so you're going to run him at 3. So that's a better chance to see him. To finish out the E-Heroes, we do 1 Neos and 1 Shadowless. For the Vision Hero package, probably going to get a lot of pushback on this, but this is where kind of my thought process goes. I go 1 Ferris, 1 Increase, 1 Vion. So obviously everyone knows this goes into this goes into that. And that's really all you need it for. So a lot of people are wanting to run Ferris at 3 because you want to see it in your hand. Well, going back to what I was saying earlier, you can search anything you need. So if you draw a card, if you draw all your cards and you have Stratos, you go into Stratos, you can search the Ferris go into Increase, so on and so forth. Go on with your combo pieces. So the other thought process I have with that is, since everything is going to be cut down to a low count in the main deck, you can get everything back. And I'll get into that when we get to it, but this is the Vision Hero lineup. Destiny Hero lineup, that's pretty much stayed the same. 3 Malicious, 1 Denier, and 1 Plasma. Plasma is still an excellent go first option. You know, if it's the only thing you got, I think it's tough to beat your opponent, but I think if you end on Plasma Darklaw, I think that's still excellent. Like, it's still hard to get around that. And then we all know how easy it is to get into DPE, so DPE, Plasma, Dark Claw. I think that's still a pretty strong board. The Evil Hero package, I only run 2 monsters. That's it. That to get into your Dark Fusion, and then this to dump the monster. So you could also use this to get into your Evil Assault, but I'll get into that card later. But yeah, I only run 1 of each. Like I said, the deck is really, really tight. I think if you're running this at 3 and then this at 2, you know, you're running that deck count up, and then next thing you know, you're drawing nothing but bricks. We run 2 Droll. I do think Droll is probably the best hand trap in the format, but I don't run it at 3. I want to see it, but I don't want to see it. I run 1 because I would use it, and the other one is a cross-out target. So that's kind of where we go with Droll. And then kind of a techie card, I'm running 2 DD Crow. So my thought process behind DD Crow is for the Fiendsmith matchup, when they go to activate Engraver, you can activate DD Crow to banish the Engraver, or if they decide to Bestial and they target a monster in my graveyard, DD Crow it, I can banish it, eliminate target, they can't get a Bestial on board. And that's kind of how I'm deciding to go with that. And then DD Crow kind of helps with the Dark Law thing, so that's kind of what I went for there. And we go 3 Ash, you know, generic hand trap. It's in everybody's deck. It's pretty useful. And then on to the spells, another 3 of. We do 3 Hero Lives. You know, you're basically running 6 Stratos at this point. And then if you really want to, if you already have Stratos, then you can just do this to go into Shadow Mist to get Mass Change, and then go into Dark Claw. You know, and that pretty much right there will shut off Droll if they don't Droll you after this. We run 2 Fusion Destiny. We do not run 3. I think running 3 is terrible. I think if, you know, you use the first one and then you're able to recycle everything and so you're able to use the second one, then the third one becomes a dead card. And I don't agree with having dead cards. So I think 2 is the right limit for me personally. And the other tech card we're running is 2 Mass Change, not just 1. So my theory behind this is that if I was to summon out my Stratos and they decide to hit it with an Imperm, I can Mass Change Stratos into the extra deck, and then Imperm would miss target. Same thing with Ferris. If Ferris was a summon and then set from the deck, you know, they decide to Imperm it, go into Dark Claw. So I think it's a decent way to kind of miss hand traps. And then for some of the 1-ofs, we go for Dark Contact, 1 Evil Assault, 1 Poly, 1 Miracle Fusion, we got 1 Rhoda, and then we have the 3 best 1-of cards. You got Cross Out, Called By, and Talents. I also think that's pretty standard for a hero list there. If Cross Out was still at 3, then Cross Out would be at 3. Then we have the 1 Favorite Contact. This is really the answer to why I'm running everything pretty much at 1. That if you activate Favorite Contact, you're able to shuffle everything back into the deck. You basically get all of your resources back. So essentially, you're kind of running 2 of everything, if it makes sense. And to round out the deck, we have 3 Emperor. Alright, that is it for the main deck. Like I said, guys, that's a tight 41 cards. And with playtesting, it's been going extremely well. You know, I haven't drawn a brick hand yet. That's not saying the deck can't brick. You know, like I could always go into, like I could draw 2 Malicious and then a Dark Fusion or anything like that. So anything can happen with there. But as far as having bricky hands, I haven't really seen them. And I mean, you can argue that you could put in droplets, but going first droplet doesn't help you. So, you know, that's kind of what my thought process was on it, because I've always ran droplet in the main deck. But for the extra deck, we have 2 Dark Claws. So we run 2 Mass Change, so we have 2 Dark Claws. If they get rid of the first one, we can always go into the second one. And then we have Blast. That's for your Stratos. So that is, you know, in my opinion, it would help out with that. You know, Blast doesn't really do, you know, too much for me, but it helps me miss Imperm or dodge Imperm with Valor. So that's kind of what I was kind of thinking about that. To round off the Elemental Fusions, we have Neos Wingman, we have Sunrise, we have Infernal Rage, and then I decided to go with 2 Wake-Ups. A lot of people run it at 1, I like it at 2. I think if I had 2 DPEs, which, you know, getting to him, I run the 1 DPE. I know we run 2 Fusion Destinies, but we have 1 target. Like I said, the favorite contact can shuffle this back in and you can get your resources back. So, you know, that's where your 2 Fusion Destinies come from. The 1 evil hero target is Malicious Bane. I like him more than the Neos Lord. We have the Trinity. Basically just got, he's kind of my, like, this is my personal preference on him, because if I get to a deck where, you know, I want to try to OTK, like, I got a buddy who runs Chaos Angel, and he, you know, always makes it correctly, so I can't destroy his cards by battles, but, you know, make Trinity and just swing 3 times for 5k, and, you know, they can't do anything about it. It's amazing. And for the links, we have Cross Crusader, 2 of those. Got these little rarity upgrades. Love it, guys. I absolutely love that. 1 Devicer and 1 Driver. And that is the extra deck. For the side, like I said, I have cards still coming in the mail, so it's still not all the way done, but, you know, for the most part, it absolutely can run. For the Malice Hate, we got 3 Lancia and 3 Chaos. For the Ryziel stuff, we've got Berulio. I got a 3rd one coming. We run 2 Thrust and the Deep Barrier, and then for right now we've got Dark Ruler No More. That's supposed to be Fualos. Whenever that comes in, that's what Fualos will be. And the Owls are just a little too much. But other than that, guys, that is the deck profile. I really hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, the object of the deck is obviously to turbo out Dark Law, DPE, and Plasma going first, and then the hand traps give you a little bit more protection. I think it's very solid in this format. I think the like I said, the graveyard decks are really going to be coming back. They can, you know, try to set up a board. You know, it kills Mermail. You know, Mermail is still a really good deck. It really slows down the Fiendsmith cards. And then if I got Plasma on field, you know, like, they're not doing anything. They can activate their effects, but they're not getting anywhere. So other than that, that's all I got for y'all guys. Let me know what you think of the deck profile. I put a lot of time into it, and like I said, it's just my personal preference on the deck. You know, you're not going to see many decks that are at a low deck count like that, because I agree. You know, it's so hard to run some of these cards at 1, but I think it works very, very well. You know, Yu-Gi-Oh is not a 6, 7, 8, 9 turn, you know, game like it really hasn't ever been, but it's not long drawn out games. They're quick, they're over quick. So if you're able to go full combo, most of the time I'm able to pull it off. Now, I mean, if they've got Droplet in hand, they just negate everything, then it is what it is. But that's Yu-Gi-Oh. You know, it's all, I think, majority luck and just how you draw your cards. So other than that, guys, that's all I got for y'all today. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If you like this content, definitely give me a subscribe. You know, hit the notification button when I post up stuff like this. If you have decks that you want me to build and showcase, let me know in the comment section. But other than that, I appreciate y'all watching the video. Y'all have a good day. Appreciate it, guys.